Hey, by TheSuffolkRam for nerds, welcome to my review of Doctor Who Series 12, Episode 8, The Haunting of Villa Diodati. There may be some minor spoilers ahead, so you don't have anything spoiled, turn off now. So, it's set in 1816, in a house for a gathering of Lord Byron and Dr. John Polderoy and Mary Shelley are meant to all be meeting together to basically have an evening together, and the Doctor and gang turn up, and they're intending basically to see like the birth, as it were, of Frankenstein and books, because this is sort of the night where they all got together and sort of started telling stories, and it all sort of steamrolled from there how the books come through. So basically this is a historical jaunt, but it comes quite clear quite early on that all is not well in this house. There are some strange things going on, strange creatures about. Sort of weird creatures still going on about, and the house is acting weirdly, it's rearranging itself, all weird things. It kicks off very much like a horror type thing. It felt that's where it was heading, was like this is going to be a sort of horror based Doctor Who, sort of gothic horror, and really sort of building up to that for quite some time actually. It really sort of plays along with that idea, and there's ghostly apparitions and all sorts, and it's very neat, and it feels like a traditional horror story, in keeping with the sort of theme of all these writers and so forth and what they wrote. But about 2/3 through, it really takes a twist. I'm not going to say what that is, but when it's one of the things that, well, I was like, I wasn't quite expecting it, but when it happened, I was like, oh, wow, okay, awesome. And I have to say, it's absolutely brilliant. It's setting up it's basically set up for the final two parts of the series, at least towards the end that's what it's doing, and it starts answering a few things, and I have to say, absolutely fabulous episode. Your typical sort of everybody's trapped in a small space and have to try and escape and get out, use their wits to get out type thing, but the whole thing seems against them. But the storyline, I like the storyline. Thought it was very good, well written storyline. Thought it was very nicely paced. I liked the interaction they had, the characters. It had the right sort of humour in it, just the right level. There's some weird bits. Ryan acts a bit like an idiot at some point, as he's wont to do. He goes completely, seemingly out of character at some point, basically threatening to beat someone up effectively, which is a bit weird. That sort of stands out like a sore thumb. But other than that, it's it's actually a really good episode. It's a fabulous episode. Can't fault it in many ways. I absolutely thoroughly enjoyed it. So on to cast and crew. So probably the sort of key people to pick out. There's most of the people that have actually got quite a decent set of lines and size and so forth. I'd say actually my favourite character from the episode was actually a character called Fletcher, who doesn't really show up very much, who's like the valet, but he has all the fine side. He's great. He responds when he's asked things, just put through an expression. And he has this brilliant way of just putting this fantastic expression, just tells it all, and every time someone says something, his reaction is just sets out laughs. He's played by Stefan Bonzianski. I think I pronounced that right. But yeah, really, he was quite good. You got Mary Wollstonecraft Godwin, played by Lily Miller. She's in there. She's quite good. The Lord Byron, played by Jacob Colin-Levy, seems to fit the role quite nicely. He very much felt like he's been Lord Byron to life. From what I know about Lord Byron, he seems to play him quite well. I was quite impressed with his playing of him, and in fact, all the actors were pretty darn good in this episode. No one really sort of let it down, and the actor who played the sort of how do I guess I was dropping something I shouldn't say. The actor who played the antagonist at the end was very, very good. Even the one who plays Shelley in it, all really good people. I like them all. Really fun cast. So the main cast do the usual quite good stuff. They work quite well. Graham still being a little bit odd, weird here and there, and sort of having the idiot bore. Ryan, I said, has a bit of a weird moments, but other than that, he's pretty darn good. Yeah, absolutely fabulous. So on to production. So, the final antagonists, when they appear, They are excellent. So I can't reveal what they are, but their design, the way they look, the way they're acted and portrayed is marvellous. They add an extra depth that you weren't expecting. Works really well. Absolutely fantastic. I mean, the special effects in it aren't particularly, apart from there's some lightning, there's nothing particularly outlandish in the whole thing. It's all quite straightforward. And this is what you see when you're watching. It's all fairly straightforward special effects. And it's good. And they've got the usual sort of ghost effects, or people fading in and out and so forth. So there's nothing particularly amazing about it. But I said to say the last sort of monster at the end was absolutely amazing. It's directed by Emma Sutherland, who also directed last week's episode, which again, I enjoyed last week's episode, and this one sort of follows the same sort of pacing, so works quite well. Neatly put together, neatly followed through. Quite liked it as well. Written by Maxine Alderton, who is a new to Who writer, but has written over 100 episodes of Emmerdale. So this is a bit of a departure from what you'd expect, but I'd say absolutely fabulously written, and looks like for once Chris Cudgeon was not involved in this one, so still a brilliant job actually. I was very impressed. Absolutely fabulous as a well written episode. So my final thoughts. Yeah, absolutely loved it. I thought it was excellent. It's a 14 episode I can't talk about too much because it's such a big spoiler to go through, which is why this is quite a short review, because I can't really reveal too much about it. But it's interesting that there is some really cool stuff happens in this, and when it does, it's so well done. It's like, oh, that's incredible, that's amazing, it's brilliant. I have to say I really enjoy this. This is a setup for the final two-parter, and I'm now really looking forward to the final two parts. I have to say this season 2 has actually been pretty darn good compared to last season, which is a little bit ropey. And we've had a couple. Well, I say we've had one really poor episode, one which I didn't like, but I know quite a lot of people quite liked. But this just doesn't. This has definitely been a really good season, and I'm loving it. And so this episode as well, it's really good. Really enjoyed it. I really can't say so much about it because I really don't want to spoil it for anybody. All I say is it's really, really good. So please go watch it. But good. But I'm now hyped up for the final two-parter. Can't wait to see them. So thank you very much for watching. I'm sorry this has been a bit of a skirting around the episode review because I said I don't want to spoil anything too much. So sorry about that. But thank you very much for watching anyway. If you've enjoyed this, will you please? I hope you consider subscribing to the channel, and I also hope you check out some other stuff. We do podcasts, we do live streams. We did a podcast last night, which you can check out, which is in our live stream if you search it on the main page. We discuss various things, and we actually ramble quite a lot, to be fair. But yeah, if you like that, check that out, and thank you very much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you next week for the first of our two-part finale. So until then, see you later.